Hello, how's it going, Jacob?
Not too bad. How are you doing, bro?
I'm not the best. The
Oh,
first time,
that's new.
not under the weather, bro.
Yeah.
Woke up with a massive headache and everything.
Uh,
But we're here, so we got a lot of things to talk about.
yes.
What are
Just
we
to
talking about today?
put me on the spot. We are talking about funnel friction because we
Yeah.
watched a very cool generator video yesterday about funnel friction, buying intent, and different things. So yeah, it's gonna be good.
And when you say funnel friction, what do you mean by that?
Funnel friction is, I guess, the easiest way to describe it is how hard it is for a lead to complete a funnel. Right. On paper, the harder it is for a lead to complete the funnel, the higher intent they are, or else they wouldn't have finished it. And on paper, the
Yeah.
easier it is to complete the funnel, the lower intent they can be. It's not always, but they can be. You
Yeah.
know, if you have, I remember one time we had that guy who we consulted, who was running ads literally directly to a high level calendar, right? And he was like, "What lead quality? What?" You have no step. There's not even a landing page for someone to click through. You know, on the other end of the spectrum, if you do a low ticket offer funnel or a paid webinar or something like that, where people have to pay money, consume a bunch of stuff to even get access to the high ticket program, that's very high friction, and therefore you get a lot of more people through with intent. The message.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. I guess, like, how do you find the balance between not having much friction so you can get volume
Mm.
versus having enough friction so you get high intent or qualified
Good
prospects?
question. Good question. So whenever we launch a funnel, I like to launch with like low intent, low friction, sorry, and then add friction as we go. Right. So if we're getting like crazy volume on cost per book call, and then we are also doing all the best practices like thank you page stuff, pre-call assets, high volume email sequence, everything that we're doing, close touch best people, prep guides, blah, blah, blah. If we're using every best practice that we've got, and we're still finding people come to the call without being fully sold or without understanding or selling a couple of things there, then we may add friction as time goes on. The thing is that ultimately what you're trying to do at every single stage is optimize for ROAS or cost per acquisition. That's what you're trying to optimize for. So if you have a low friction funnel, or you have a sales process which gets people to show up super well framed, and you have a 60% show rate and a 30% close rate, good. If you have a high friction funnel and you have a 100% show rate and 80% close rate on the back end, great. It's all just about tracking the numbers and seeing what works for what offer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's like ROAS. If it's good, if it's a healthy ROAS, it's good to go. No other metrics matters as much as
I
ROAS.
mean, not literally nothing matters. Literally nothing matters. Because the reason I say that is because as an advertiser, you can obsess over CPMs and click everything, and it's it doesn't really change anything. If I know that if my CPM is not what I expect, my click through rate is not the KPI. If I'm interested, let me click. You will still do what you can to improve these metrics because it will improve your ROAS. Is what your assumption is, right? If I can decrease my CPM by 50%, then I'm going to have 50% more ROAS at the bottom of the funnel, right? Which is cool. Nothing else changing. I'm going to have 50% more money at the very bottom of the funnel. However, if you have a 4x plus ROAS, just let it rip, right? Just let it rip. And then the other thing to think about is one thing that I am really excited to get to the stage of. To get to the stage of is having a full DTC funnel with obviously the back end sales process, etc., and then having a low ticket essential funnel as well. Like I
Yeah.
cannot wait because then you have the best of both worlds. You got low ticket ascension funnel, which is like super high intent, high friction, right? Then you got the core funnel as well, the D2C funnel. Get a lot of volume through there. Cost per call is relatively cheap. You can like ramp these things up at the same time. And the way Meta's algorithm works nowadays is like obviously you can set up retargeting campaigns, and obviously you should, but 85% of people who see one of your ads see all of your ads. I don't know about you, but I see every single ad that we're running right now. I promise if I was to scroll
Yeah.
for 3 minutes, I'd one of our ads, honestly. There you go.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, you can mix and match different funnels with different friction. But one thing that Jeremy Haynes said that I was really interested in, and it makes sense, is richer demographics only respond to low friction funnels, and then you have to do the sales process work yourself with a proper setting process, touching base, and everything from there, which is interesting because that's a similar way to how the exploring offer ran for Sahel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. Low friction, and this, and then you build up, you build up the intent
Yeah.
as consume more information, right? It's all about information and consumption.
Mm.
If you have information, but you don't consume it, you don't remind them, or it's not like easily accessible, you're not consuming it, then what's the whole point, right? So you can have all the information in the world, but you need consumption. And funny is, like, it's a balance of both, right? Some people say, oh, you got to just do a lot of posts, like organic, all of that kind of stuff, referrals. Yeah, that's great. Super warm, right? They trust you, they know you, they like you. Ever, unless you have a ton of like posts and followers and all that stuff, then yeah, sure, you can scale. But not all agencies, not all companies are like that. Like they need and cold traffic, right? And for you to have cold traffic, there's not much no one trust you, so you need an amazing offer front end, and then you need to build like low intent and build it up to like high intent. And today, like with everything that we did with the ecosystem that we have, yesterday I had a few calls, and they're all like they haven't seen me besides like in the pre-call process, right? But they trust us, bro. They were like, "Oh, I trust you guys do this,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Bro, they went from cold leads,
That's
never heard of us."
never heard before. Damn, these
Yeah,
guys know what they're talking about.
yeah. And I always ask them, "Did you watch the pre-call resources?" And the ones who do, they will be like higher intent.
Makes sense. And that's the thing. I think the best I think the best situation is either super low intent and you're just collecting leads, and then you've just got an absolutely dialed setting team on the back end, right? That is a very valuable like sales process, marketing process to run with. And then on the other end of the spectrum, super high, or I say super high, but high friction, like low ticket alpha, with their fast track via high volume email sequence, get people to just book in a fast track call, right? High show rates,
Yeah,
high close rates. But I think right in that middle, most people should probably sit, because both those strategies a lot more moving parts to make happen. So with if you want to do lead form, right? The reason why I see most people fail with lead forms actually is that they don't have good setting process. Their speed to lead doesn't really exist. Setters call leads like 3 or 4 times. I remember with the Wisdom Speaks offer, bro. I remember
yeah,
Justin letting me know. He was like, Jacob, I think I called every single lead 40 times. And I was like, yeah, so good. I love it. Now, I wish back then we would have ran lead form ads because we had the setting team for it. That's actually true. We had the setting team to capitalize on it all. Um, if we would have built the sales process in the back end, we would have pushed through that. But that's a different conversation, right? But then on the other end of the spectrum, with low ticket offer funnels, you've only got to get the right low ticket offer. Like Ryan Clogbo, what does he do? 3 million, 2 million, and he's struggling to get the right low ticket offer to work for cold traffic. It's not like an easy, just like quick fix thing. Like you have to
yeah,
have low ticket offer that works to cold traffic. Then you got to create the backend automations that do like a high volume email sequence, selling the fast track call. Then you've got to build out the fast track call sales process. So positions itself as yes, it's a fast track call, but also here's what we do. Hinder, quick. Don't push people away, but also incentivize people to show them. You can't really do the same amount of sales process and sales assets, because if you do that, people just think it's a sales call. So either way, you've got all these moving parts. I think the best way to launch is D2C funnel, 3 to 5 questions, best practices, thank you page, and then boom, sales assets. And then you just push them. I had a guy message me from school. We should start the cool school community, by the way, bro. I thought about this, but that's a different conversation.
yeah,
I had a guy messaging me from school, and he was like, we'll start the other day about 30% close rate, 70% show rates using pre-core assets. And he was like, bro, this is incredible post, man. This needs to go on LinkedIn. There's the ambassador guy, which we need to get on to be fair.
yeah,
But regardless, it was just interesting that the stuff that we deem to be like surface level, like, yeah, everyone should know this. A lot of people just don't. Do you get what I'm saying? So sales process, cold leads, converting cold leads, sales asset needed, like the free training funnel, for example. A lot of people just don't know about that stuff. And it's going to be interesting because obviously we're developing a lot of that stuff with our other clients right now. It's going to be very interesting to see how the show rate, close rate, etc., like evolves with those new assets in place. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And the amount of like this funnel, the amount of leads that we're getting for our clients is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, what? The car dealership was 80, 86 or something calls.
Yeah, 85 calls there. So you can have
85 calls in 10 days or something. Yeah, it's insane. It's too much for the closers. We're like looking for another closer now just because of that,
Yeah.
right? That like the personal branding offer got like what?
It was
I
like
can't remember,
85
but
calls in 3 days, bro. Or some stupid shit like that.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
But the reason that happens, right, and I wouldn't change either of those funnels much, right? I'll just improve the back end sales process. And one of the things that we're going to need to implement with the DTC funnel, bro, and I've realized this is a non-negotiable, is we need triages. We need triages because it's like relatively low friction and we need people consuming sales assets. We need triages to touch base with the leads beforehand. Be like, hey man, I saw you booked in at XYZ time. Really looking forward to speaking to you. By the way, do you get a chance to do this? Do you get a chance to do this? What are you looking for? What's your goal with all this? Okay, cool. What's the process? What's the end goal you're looking for? Okay, XYZ. Do a standard triaging call. Because it's very low friction, bro, we're going to get a lot of volume through. And I actually want to be unbooking people, if that makes sense, like unqualified or low intent people, just unbook, whatever, remove them from the calendar and say, hey, book back in when you consume this, something along those lines. That's
Yeah,
essentially what we're
100%.
doing with the digital dealership now, bro. Right. The closer is essentially become the triager, the glorified triager.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. And optimize for speed to lead, right? Because closers, they don't have all the time in the world to be calling these people
Yeah.
if they're on calls.
Yeah.
And speed to lead is just like we had a drop in show rate with one of our clients, right? Well, not of show rate. This closer came on and the show rate was lower, right? We're looking at so many things, but we're like, why is it that the show rate is better in different offers, same funnel, and even like with other previously before the closer came in, right? And it's funny because like when we went through the best practices for closers in the training, the first thing I said is speed to lead. He didn't do that. I'm not sure if he didn't understand what speed to lead means or he just forgot, but he started calling these prospects like 3, 4 hours before they call, not right after they booked. And that, just by that alone, it dropped the show rate tremendously.
Yeah. And that happens because the funnel is low friction. And even though we have all the assets to increase people's intent level, like you can't just assume human beings are going to do what you want them to do, man. That's the fast track way to get yourself killed or
100%.
losing your mind, you know?
Yeah, we live in a distracted world, bro. They open their email. How many emails do they get in a day? Right? So, like, we need to remind them. We need to always just constantly have a reminder.
Yeah.
And this goes, and we're slightly out of topic, right? As a closer. This is the same with like follow-ups. It's funny because I was talking to, when I was a closer for the fitness offer, Gary, the offer, he says something completely just shift my perspective. He told me, right? Like, because I asked him, like, I'm following up with these people, and clearly they're not responding. Like, why? It's clear that they're not interested. Why are we still texting them? And then he said that there's going to be a time when they're in front of the mirror, they're trying to put clothes on, and they're like, "Oh man, I'm getting a little bit fat." They can't fit. So you just have a drop in confidence at that moment in time. If you contact them, it's timing, right? And then they're interested again. Like people make decisions like very quickly. Some people say they, oh, I don't make rash decisions. A lot of people make
That's funny. When you look at stuff like infidelity and like just like people killing each other and drink driving, no, people make rash decisions, bro. but we just don't think
Yeah,
our prospects are capable of that because we want to put ourselves off on a pedestal, I think is what people say. But you're right. And
yeah,
it's funny because one of the things that we are working in right now is I want to start building out something. And this will be like probably not a done for you, but it'll be a done with you. But we'll give them templates that we'll do for our clients. It's like value dense follow ups. I want to start doing value dense follow ups where we have 30 to 45 days of email and SMS and what all three, right? Where we continue dropping sales assets, value dense information, case study. Hey man, I thought about you. This might help you out where you're at right now. Conditional if then logic. If they respond this, then we send them this way in the communication. They don't send them this way because, bro, the follow up, the money is in the follow up, man. And people get it twisted. They think it's just about, hey, how you doing? Hey, Reese, just got a moment. Hey, Reese, it's not as, hey, Reese, I remember when we spoke, you discussed that you were running payments, but you're 100% sure what sort of tricks you should be looking at. I thought to send this over because I think it might be helpful for you. But hey, Reese, by the
yeah,
way, we just had a client who just tripled their ROAS by working with us for a week. I know this is something that you were thinking about, so let's book in a time to chat. All of a sudden, they book it. Boom, you got to sell. Like people just try and talk to each other, try and talk to your leads. Your leads don't care about you, bro. Give them something to care about.
yeah, yeah, 100%. No, I completely agree. Just like how we were talking about this with Sohel, right? How you want to have like a conveyor belt when it comes to like from the sales process, when they sign up, delivery, do deals, making money, paying them, all that kind of stuff, right? I feel like every business, we have to look at it like a factory, bro. Every single part has to have a conveyor belt. That fulfillment, your whole sales process from the funnel all the way to the sales call. From the sales call,
To the
the
follow up.
no closes,
Yeah.
like they have the like conveyor belt all the way,
Mm.
right? And it's working in motion like every single time.
That's a good
I feel
analogy, you
like
know.
the more, yeah, like I feel like the more you can have a complete system across different areas, like the better it is. Even like our operations, right?
I like that.
We
I
have a
really like that. Conveyor
yeah,
belt. Like building all the conveyor belts for the business. Because I'm just thinking out loud based on what you're saying. Because let's just think about it, right? Conveyor belt. So you've got the offer feedback loop belt where you take cold leads, they give you their perspectives, FAQs, and you use that to shift or create sales assets. That's the conveyor belt, right?
yeah,
You've got like creative design, right? Yeah, cool. That's really cool. That's really cool.
yeah, yeah. And the more assets that you have in the business, the more it is. Because, for example, right, when you have follow ups for the no shows or no closes, especially the no closes, I had conversations with, they're all they have different problems. It might be similar, but it's still different. They're in a situation. So if you can provide something valuable to them after the call
Mm.
that's personalized to them, it's going to be more valuable to them. But you can't be creating 10 different personalized assets every single time you don't close a deal. You know what I mean? So that's why having, I guess, like a bank of assets and case studies for different situations and different problems for your ICP will help a lot. Will help systemize everything.
I know it's killer like you can do for the follow-up conveyor belt, if you want to call it that, is to have, as I said, like conditional if then logic that triggers different follow-up sequences. So if we know there's three main reasons people don't close, which is like do it myself, try out myself. I've been burned by agencies before. I don't know if the paper appointment makes sense to me. If we know that those are the three reasons that people don't close, let's say, then you can have like on the post call notes, you can have a trigger where it's what was the reason they didn't close X, Y, or Z. Click the reason, and then all of a sudden they're getting the follow up stuff regarding that specific objection. You know what I mean?
It's a whole process, yeah.
Yeah.
I I was closing for the fitness offer, right? There's this one time, all of a sudden, things just stopped working. We're not getting any leads. Like I'm talking about like less than 5 a week,
Yeah.
right? Like everything just completely stopped. We don't know what's going on. Before that, we were just having healthy lead flow, right? Now, one of the mistakes I made was I didn't have systemized follow up. I just follow up when I'm free. I follow up with just the people who are like close to me closing them on the call. And when that happened, that was the time. It was near Black Friday, right? So the offer owner said we need to do like a Black Friday offer to get some deals. I basically took every single person who I didn't close, and it was like multiple hundreds, like over 300 from way back then for the whole year. And I put it in an Excel sheet. I took my sales calls, recording, I put it on ChatGPT, and then I get their pain points, how much weight they want to lose, like what their goal is, all of that stuff. And then I put it back to ChatGPT with a bank of like case studies from the people that we have. And then I told them create like an Excel sheet, put it in an Excel sheet, like a case study that we can use. And then I just automate everything. I still there's still a manual process. Like I have to send them the message and stuff, but I have like just a people I went through all of that within a few days, bro. Did I get a
That's
lot of sales from it? Not a whole lot, but I got some sales in. And that kept
I
the
mean, you can see zero lead flow bonds working in pipeline, bro. That's a whole different
yeah.
conversation, bro. Let's talk about princess closers. Let's talk about princess closers. What are these?
I need more leads inbound. I only do make 10K months, but I will do role plays and I will kind of the trainings and I will work my
Let's talk about them next time, bro. For those dudes.
Yeah, we should. We should. And I feel like a lot of closers just need to set the expectation and see it from a different lens when it comes to closing,
They've just taken
right?
a
Because
lot of
like,
them have just taken a course, bro. That's the point. They've just taken a course where it's, oh, here's how to make 10K a month. Just get an offer, and then you make 10K a month. Oh no. Right
yeah,
now, not only are you not capable of a 10K a month offer, you're not good enough for it. You also don't have the skill to actually close yet. So you need to get good. And you probably need to work your pipeline. And if they're putting you straight onto the calendar, they're probably not a great offer. So you should probably be doing outbound first. Once you're doing outbound, then you should. So these
yeah, 100%. And instead of seeing it from, okay, only gonna get paid when I close a deal when I'm taking calls, like you need to, because like at the end of the day, like we're all paid by hours, right? If you think, yeah, if you have two calls in one day and you close one of them and you make 1 grand, you didn't make 1 grand from that one call. You made 1 grand for the whole 8 hours of working. You know what I mean? So like you still have to work outside of those two calls to get other people coming in, and that's a part of your job. So when I had a closer, and then we'll talk more on this part, but I had a closer who was like, "Oh, I want to only take qualified leads. Please do." Didn't do much. Didn't have many volume. I told him like the best way for you to train closing, it's not role plays, it's not listening to call recording, it's being an actual sales call. Because that's like the volume that you need for you to get comfortable and to get good at it. And if you're not taking unqualified leads, he was saying like, "Oh, it's just I value my time and all that stuff." And I'm thinking like, okay, you value your time, but what if you can't close a qualified lead because you're unprepared? Your time is worth zero anyways. So might as well take the unqualified calls so that way you're ready. So when a qualified call come in, you can close them because you're prepared.
I think the idea of business owners, closers, whatever, freelancers in the early age of their or early start of their success journey, saying stuff like, I value my time, that's just hubris. Like, you shouldn't, this, like, with all due respect, but you shouldn't do that.
Yeah,
Like, you shouldn't
yeah,
value your time because right now, unless you have results and you have a system to get results and you can consistently do it quicker, more efficiently, then why should anybody value your time? You're in a zero sum game. You're in a sport. You either win or you lose at the end of the day. So you valuing your time doesn't make you better or doesn't improve your win rate. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's really interesting because the shift that we're going into now is acquiring like qualified and good closers. Right, because before we were just like taking on, and it's stuff we learned. It's so interesting. Like when we first launched, it was like whenever we bring on a client, we'll build the sales team from day one. We should never do that. It should always be the offer owner closes until that 100K a month, and then we bring a closer in, and then we do X, Y, Z, right? But like when we have an offer above 50K a month where we're about to double our spend for the next month, it's so easy to then bring on a good closer, bro. And these good closers know the game. They just know the game. I'm going to be working my pipeline some days. Some days I might have no calls and I'm just going to be dialing people.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it's almost like the graph where it's like uninformed optimism, informed pessimism, informed, right? It's like closers who have just bought a 3K course or just bought a course and need to get placed. They were uninformed optimism. They're like, this is so easy. I'm just going to get on an offer, give me calls, and I'm just going to make money. And then they go through 3, 4, 5 different offers where that's not the case. And they start to go, you know what they said? This is a scam. This closing thing is not real. No. And then they get to uninformed pessimism or the valley of death. Right? It's like, what do I do now? I've invested, I've bought this, I've tried to build these skills, but man, these offers don't work the way I think they need to. And then they start to actually remember what Rizwan Motar said to them 6 months ago. Work your pipeline, work with unqualified leads, follow up. Because that is literally how you become. I don't know a single, I didn't do it, you didn't do it, I don't know a single closer, a good closer who didn't get in the trenches and make it happen. It's every other business is exactly the same, bro. You cold call, you this, you that. Why would it be different as a sales closer? As a closer?
Yeah. Whenever I get an offer, I actually want unqualified calls. I want volume, bro. Give all the calls. I'm canceling anything.
Yeah.
As long as they can speak English, I'm like, I'm taking the call, bro. I'm practicing. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. We can talk more about that part, expectations for closers, how to perform, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting conversation regarding funnels and the market changing. This is, you know how during COVID, there's a boom in like offers, like online offers. Everyone's doing it. A boom in an increase in the amount of like fitness coaches and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, everyone
like
became a coach.
yeah, I feel like the past couple years, it's more of an exponential increase of just too many offers, and the trust in the market is getting lower and lower. Just that, and there's a lot of like changes and tweaks that need to be making a funnel. Like back then, bro, it's so easy to get people on calls.
Yeah. The market is, because there's more sales arguments being made, the market is more sophisticated to what a sales argument is.
Yeah.
Because more people
Yeah.
are being pitched, the market knows that pitches, so you have to be smarter, you have to be better, you have to be different.
100%. And I think it's heading towards this right now already, but especially for B2B offers, I feel like the closing will be different. Like the NEPQ stuff, like that kind of stuff. Like people already know that. Like you need to be ahead of the game. You need to understand, like, okay, how do I approach this sales call? I can't be asking the same questions as like the other 10 offers are doing.
Yeah, I think it'll be, because the thing is, I think there's always a baseline of stuff that you can't take away. So, for example, having a good offer, even if everyone has the same offers, you can't not have an offer. You can't just run a you can't just, this is my ad, making no sales. And the same way, maybe it won't be NEPQ, but it'll be some version of sales discovery and asking questions and X and Y and all those different things. I think the biggest difference will be, I genuinely think those are all like foundational parts to that sales and marketing, if that makes sense. I think what will happen is marketers will become more and more sophisticated. So, for example, more people will have pre-call sequences and pre-call automation. Then more people will have follow-up conveyor belts as well. Then more people will have triages. Then more people will have funnel friction. And because what happens is, bro, and what we've got to understand is this as well. You will be surprised how many new people enter the market every single day. Let's think about it. We started our agency a few months ago. We were a new, now we've seen offers, bro, because we've been offer owners, we've been XYZ, we've been growth operators, we've been there and done that. But if we were to take ourselves and count just, hey, we're a new person to the market, we're now exposed to sales messages for the first time. And there's a bunch of new entrants into the market every single month, every single week, every day, bro, every day, all the time. The extension to that is, basically, it's always going to be the same three things. Can you make the offer cold friendly? Can you get people to show? Can you get people to close? And however the market develops to make that happen, it will develop, but those will be the fundamentals at all times. I think the biggest thing right now, bro, that I'm seeing absolutely crush, because everyone can do a book funnel now, so there's no value in it because AI, ChatGPT. I was annoying because I've been writing a book for because everyone's got a book.
Yeah.
But I think the market will move back towards like webinars and VSL funnels and probably stuff like lead, like real humans that are just dialing someone.
Yeah. 100%. Market is always there. It's just different strategies, bro.
Yeah, just different strategies. You got to adapt.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Ed.
Yeah.
It's a great conversation. Hope you get value from this. And if you have any questions, you can just put it in the comments. We'll make it in our next video. We'll talk about it. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.